I think as cliche as it may sound, we're really at the point in our lives where we're ready to give back. As horrific as it is having a child, critically ill at the Stollery, overall the experience for us was just so wonderful.
I wanted to be a part of the council because I was part of the original Parent Advisory Council. And this council I saw is very different. It had all the different levels of people coming to the table. Parents and the executive directors and the nurses and the doctors, and we're all working collaboratively, and that just was exciting to think of.
Well, throughout the course of my son's stay here at the Stollery over a year, I just really felt like as a family we, the knowledge and the information that we gained and learned in order to better support him in the hospital setting was something very valuable for him and for our family in order for him to get better. So I just noticed that other families maybe weren't as fortunate as we were, didn't have the community and the supports in place that we did. So that's what just made me realize that as soon as Jed was home and better, I really wanted to somehow get involved with helping other families who could then help their children within the system, sort of building their capacity and gaining the knowledge that it might take to get their children home and better. So I wanted to somehow get involved, and when I heard about the council, I just thought it was a great way for me to contribute and give back to the Stollery.
Initially, our working group was called Decision Making in Care, and our first big project was to look at creating new overlays for the whiteboards in the patient's room to act as a communication tool for the patient and staff, and then watch those be put into place. Reviewing pamphlets and brochures from the family's point of view. I've been lucky enough to be able to take part in senior management interviews at the Stollery and sit as a family representative on the Stollery Council. So right now we're working on trying to create a sustainable infrastructure for the council so that this momentum can continue. And I've even been lucky enough to be able to co-chair the council the last few years.
I've been involved with the peer support program, getting it up and running, and looking at the guidelines of how we're looking for peer support and what we're looking for and how we're training for. And I've been involved in the coffee time, working with the chaplain and the social workers, providing support in the critical care units, as well as the redesign of the critical care area. I've been involved with some of the planning on that.
Well, peer support was and still is near and dear to my heart. The supports that I received was sort of on a casual basis here in the hospital, and the relationships I formed with peers, other parents and family members who were, say, our roommates or people that I ran into while I was pumping in the pump room. The information and the relationships that we shared with one another really helped for me to get through maybe a rough day or a rough time in our family's life. So I wanted to hopefully get involved with this initiative that would provide supports for families so that they could feel better about being here.
I think it doesn't matter where you're involved in the council or the network. Really, you're trying to make sure that the families and the child are at the center of decisions and care at the Stollery, and that they're equal collaborative partners of the care team, and so then that just ensures the best possible experience for the families.
I think the approach of family-centered care really speaks to the parents being involved. They're part of the team, everybody's part of the team, working together for the benefit of the child, rather than everyone having their little section and nobody really communicating very well. It really brings communication and support to the table for the child. They're the ones that need the benefit, the families as well.
Well, the initiatives are certainly broad, either at the bedside or behind the scenes. I love our involvement with capital projects. I think it's just been awesome for the family voice to be involved in the design, say, of the emergency room or the critical care areas. So I was thinking about family talks, which is such an awesome program. So families using their voice and telling their stories in different situations families that supported and helped them. I just think that continuing to spread that knowledge among staff members will really help families, continuing to be here at the Stollery.
Really, over the last couple of years, you can see the culture at the Stollery shift to put the children and the families at the center of decision making and care. And so when you see this momentum just exponentially growing, you just can't not want to be a part of it.
It's still very exciting for me to be involved. The initiatives are moving forward. The council has had so many strides, so many goals that we've met and continue to meet and that we're setting as a group. And it's very good energy. It's working very well.
Well, definitely the children and the families. So every time I drive by the Stollery, I can't help but look up here and think of the kids and the families that are here year-round on Christmas and weekends and late at night. There's always families sitting here at their children's bedsides. So I think it's sort of our duty as a community to support them.